All right, people, what up? We need to have a serious conversation, a real serious conversation. I hope, if nothing else, this situation teaches everyone how inadequate a socialist system would be in handling anything like this. With that being said, what I want to talk about today is firearms ownership, safety. In my opinion, it is the responsible thing for every person who can legally own a firearm to do so. It is highly irresponsible not to own one. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm the end all be all or that I'm the authority. If there's one thing this situation should teach you, is that the government is wholly inadequate to deal with mass scale issues dealing with every single individual in the country. And this is what I mean. If we're all out of work, if everything is shut down and nobody can make money, there's no way that can sustain because the government can't take care of all of us. It's not possible. It's not tenable over a long period of time. Another thing this should display, there's been rumors, and I'm not going to give into the fear reporting that you see going on out there, but there have been rumors, and some states have put out these messages that certain crimes won't be prosecuted right now to prevent the spread of COVID, whatever. What happens when the cops stop responding to things like, let's say, simple burglary? Somebody stole something from you. They're like, yeah, we're not going to respond to that. That's small. Who's there to take care of you? Who's there to protect you now? Can the police force protect can the police force of the United States protect 350 million people? You want me to answer that for you? No. It's not possible. I'm not saying everybody go grab a gun and you're going to be a gunslinger and go out there shooting people. That's not what I'm saying. Let me tell you something from a gun owner. I've been a gun owner since I was 21. I'm 40 right now. I never in my entire life want to have to pull a gun out and use it on a person. Never, ever, ever, ever. I hope it never happens. Every responsible gun owner has that thought. I avoid contentious situations. I don't want to be involved in drama. Mainly because I just don't want that in my life in general, but especially as a gun owner, a responsible gun owner, has due diligence and tries their best to stay away from certain situations and certain things. If our police force is overtasked, what's going to happen? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Everybody that was screaming for gun control is going to be scrambling to go buy a firearm. As an American, as a Second Amendment advocate, I'm going to tell you right now, again, as I said, it is irresponsible as a person who can legally own a firearm to not have one. Super irresponsible, in my opinion. Everyone should own one. Everyone should learn gun safety, gun responsibility. These are things that, if taught, we can remove what I call the gun scary myth. Everybody's afraid of guns because of the gun scary myth. If there's more guns, people are just going to go wild, and that's actually not true. That is not true at all. And I wish people would stop giving in to this fear. But again, this situation should display more than anything that you should own a firearm. Because if things collapse, let me full stop. What has been pushed behind what's going on right now by the media is media-induced panic. I don't think things are going to collapse. Not that it can. I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not saying things can't fall apart tomorrow. I'm just saying that if things do fall apart, it was because the media pushed panic. That's why. 100%. I believe that with everything that's in me. With that being the case, I believe Everyone should take several things away from this situation, several learning experiences, several things, lessons that we should all take away. One, preppers aren't looking like nutcases right now, are they? Huh? Preppers looking kind of wise right now. You see, be careful who you discount and discredit as a fool without even giving what they're saying any kind of credence. Because at some point you might realize, I was actually the fool. And preppers are looking super wise right now. The next thing I think we should take away from this, I'm going to tell you what I told my mom yesterday. We were talking about gun ownership. We were talking about responsible gun ownership and being responsible for your own safety. Now, this is not a call to be the Wild Wild West. But if something happens right now, and I have to protect myself right now, how fast are the cops going to be able to respond? Are they going to be able to respond faster than you? The answer to that is no. This is what I would tell you. I'm from Brooklyn. I no longer live in Brooklyn. I left when I was 18, was in the military. That's another story for another day. I've been living in the South for 22 years now. I'm actually glad that happened, and I'm glad for this experience. And I'm going to tell you why. If where I'm living right now, they passed a law that you couldn't own firearms at all, I would move today. Not tomorrow, not the next day, today. Now, some people say, oh, you should stay and you should fight and try to change things. And I agree, you should try to change things. You shouldn't just abandon your post. I'm just saying, I'm not living in any state that will prohibit me from owning firearms. And I would advocate all of you do the same. Because numbers change minds, right? Look at the statistics of the states where people are leaving in droves. I think California and New York are among the top. I could be mistaken. Do you not think at some point that's going to make those local governments look at their policies and go, this might not be working out for us. We might want to change some things. And I think if states were pushing for draconian gun laws and people said, all right, that's cool, we'll just leave. Yeah, good luck running a state with nobody in it. Numbers change things, right? Also, what you can do, vote, pay attention. Pay attention to what's going on in local elections. Local elections matter. Pay attention to what's going on in national elections. Pay attention to issues regarding the Constitution. This is things that we should all do. But as far as gun ownership, I am seeing the encouraging thing about what's going on right now is I think this is waking people up to many issues. And one of the issues I think is waking people up to is the fact that you have to have some kind of personal responsibility. Yes, there's certain things the government should do, but there's a level of personal responsibility that you have to have, that you have to exercise. Another thing this is showing people, if we ever had a real tragedy, this place will fall apart because people panic. People react off panic. I never thought I would see the day that would be the case. And I always thought to myself, if something happened, if a tragedy happened, we'd pull together. People would use their heads. I'm seeing that that's not the case. People are not pulling together and using their heads. And to people's credit, a lot of this is media-induced panic. It's hard when you've not broken off the tit of mainstream media when they're constantly telling you this is happening, that's happening, it's going to collapse, it's going to fall apart, if you're listening to all day long, the sky is falling, you're going to panic, right? So another thing I hope people pull from this is, man, get away from the mainstream media. Stop listening to these people. If you need some other sources of media, other people to listen to, other places to go, hit me up. I can give you some places, but really you don't even need me for that. You could go online and find all the information you need. Look up stats, look for statistics, look for facts. Stop letting the media control you. But back on topic, firearms. I hope after this, everyone who can legally own a firearm goes and buys one. I think after this is all settled, I think the gun industry is going to make buku cash, and I hope they do. And I hope people realize that in a situation where things truly fall apart, 1, we have to be responsible. 2, we shouldn't panic. 3, we should be able to count on each other to make it through this. You can't count on the government. The government can't deal with everything for 350 million people. That's just not reasonable.